Hello YouTube and viewers out there. This is a continuation, part 3 of my play function issues with my Tascam Porta Two Ministudio 4-track tape cassette recorder. The last segment explains my findings on where my problem was, why the automatic shutoff function was continuously happening in play mode. I found it and I explained it in the last segment, so what I want to show you now is what it looks like with my modification that I made in that area. So as I explained before, the head base, which is this black plastic piece, it had broke, and I don't know if you can see where the spring is attached to this little armature kind of washer with an arm that I made. And the next segment following is going to explain how I made it, which is kind of cool. But before, I want to get this up and running and at least show that it works. But I know I made it ugly. That's the first thing that's kind of lame. But it works, and it's actually improved because it's not plastic, and it'll last a lot longer through temperature and age with that little, metal piece. I don't know if it's aluminum. I think it's just soft metal. I'm not sure. But anyway, what it is definitely doing the job. It's holding the spring, the head base spring, right in place with enough tension so that when the little shift gear comes up, it's going to hold a lot of tension. That spring is going to hold a lot of tension, and it's going to move the head plate right where it needs to go. When it's in play mode, it's going to shift it up exactly where it needs to go. So that's my modification. I made a little washer for the only little black screw on the head base out of all these other little screws, so it's easy to identify. But yeah, I basically took a connection from a old rectifier from a console that I parted out a long time ago, an Atari Concept Elite Plus, one of the first, digitally operated analog boards that was like motorized in the mid 90s. But basically, real quick, just to show you, like, I'll just get it out the way now. This is a connection from it, from the rectifier, and basically it just kind of went like that, right? It was on there, so I broke it off. Okay, then I took two needle nose pliers and I twisted it to make this little arm. So that way it's like a washer with a little arm, so nothing could go past that, right? So hey, I was like, cool, I got creative, all right. Then I had to make sure that the hole was big enough in diameter for the little screw to fit in. And so essentially, yeah, that's what I did. I had 4 tries from that rectifier with some creativity and willingness. Like I said before, I now have a functioning head base spring compartment that's going to give enough tension to push this plate where it needs to go. So yeah, so that was kind of neat. I thought I'd share that with everybody. You just got to get creative and make things work. Obviously, it sucks I have to take apart adjust the azimuth and unscrew it. That's going to be kind of a challenge, putting it back to 0 phase and like going from what the service manual specs provide for you. But definitely be careful if you're going to have to be dealing with that. You don't want to break any solder joints with these wires, obviously. I don't even have an oscilloscope, so I may need some help to get full adjustment, but I think I might manage. We'll see what happens when it's all said and done. But there's enough clearance. It's pretty flush. I don't know if you can focus in on that, but it's fairly flush with the head plate. I think it's great. I don't see any cracks or anything, like nothing screwed in good enough, But anyways, at least it's up and running, and it's going to last a lot longer than it did, at least with that part. So watch out for the spring If it's given a lot of play in it and you're having that automatic shut off situation like I did, there's a good chance that this head base is cracked, and it's got to be near the spring somewhere, because that spring will pop out and it'll rest against like the tape guide or something over here on the tape transport. But anyways, in another video I'll show you guys like it actually working, me actually engaging the tape function and it actually doing its job. So man, I tell you what, a lot of trial and error. I had a bunch of setbacks. I had like disconnections going on. I was like turning the tape transport over and over back and forth so many times to where I broke a couple connections. I had to resolder those in a couple different places, and that was a setback. And then like when I figured out that this thing was actually broken, that was the biggest setback. So as you can see there, I clipped that actual piece off. I made that gap so I could fit this little washer there and kind of slide it into place. And it's great because there's enough of surface area to cup inside the boss, so it actually mounts it nice and securely. So I don't have to like be paranoid about how long it's actually going to last me, because I wanted to sell this on eBay. Now it's kind of ugly. I'm not going to be able to sell it at a price I'd like to. But I mean, for those out there that are still loving the 4-track analog sound, the lo-fi sound, that's what this is all about. I'm a reggae artist, producer, obviously a do-it-yourselfer, and it's amazing I get to figure out this type of stuff even though I'll utilize this actual machine. I'd love to run, a signal right into there just to get that compression and that tape saturation. And, I do a lot of reggae music, I do a lot of hip hop, and these kind of things are ideal for that warm sound. I can just put it on a mix, I can, master to it, but there are many different various ways to do stuff like that. But my point is this: being able to fix or solve a problem and get creative so that I can get a piece of vintage, 4-track recorder up and running again. That's awesome. I'm super happy about that. So I want to give a lot of thanks to Mr. Glasstronic, YouTube member Glasstronic, otherwise known as Mr. Brian. Thank you very much for all your help and support. And your videos definitely encouraged me, and I've gained a lot of knowledge from you, and I'm very grateful for that. So I recommend everybody to subscribe to YouTube member Glasstronic, because like I said before, nobody's doing these type of videos, these repair and restorations on old Tascam 4-track recorders, tape cassette, vintage 80s. This type of product was awesome for its time, and it's even better now because more people are wanting this sound anyways. Get out of this digital age. Well, I can't say that because that's great for marketing and for musicians and bands and anyone out there really in the music industry. It's awesome. But you know what? Add this to the flavor, and it puts the icing on the cake. So it's all good. So I hope everybody gets something out of this, because I learned a lot from Glasstronic, and I went off of that. So once again, keep an eye out for this little problem area with the head bass spring and whatnot. So yeah, thanks for watching, and have a good day.